so I tell him, like, I see this, there must be something. And I remember writing it somewhere. I have a feeling this must be my proposal day. And I remember telling him, let's take a selfie. Because I told him, let's take ice cream as I wait for his friend to plan. See, his friends have to come together then to get him a surprise, happy birthday. So as we wait for guys to assemble in that place, we decide to go out for ice cream. So when we're at the ice cream place, I tell him, let's take a selfie. I have a feeling the next time we're talking, things will be different. Hey, so sijui kama ali connect the dots like maybe ninajua.
She was doing what I did on my birthday a year before, while she was now surprising me, planning for a surprise birthday. And I took a notebook and wrote that, I know you're planning something. Na nikamwambia kitabu fungue after. Because she was also making those phone calls. Or rather, she was on my phone so much on that day.
Yeah, so of course, you just did the same thing that I did the previous year. Yeah. So me, I'm like, okay, I know something is happening. And then the fact that I'm calling my friends who are supposed to be there and they are not picking the call. And then the friend is like, which door are you going to? Because the restaurant has two entrances, the front and the back. Then he asked me, like, which entrance are you going to come to? And I'm like, is it necessary? Are we just going to come, then say surprise? So I come to understand, but there must have been a place the photographer had to be intentionally. So we enter. Me, I'm waiting for guys to say surprise, happy birthday. So I am entering, guys are silent.
Guys said surprise.
No, they didn't. Mm-hmm. They were for 5 seconds, they were silent. I'm like, it's weird.
Supposed to be, the surprise is supposed to be.
Like a prom, just a surprise, They don't do that. They're just like smiling at me. And then I just turned to my left and then I saw a lady who I haven't seen in a long time. And I hadn't invited her for the birthday. So I'm like, ulikuwa unajua aje kuna birthday. Yeah, hata haongei. She's not saying like, hi, how are you? Have you been? She's not. Then I check on this other side. I'm starting to see some of his friends who I hadn't invited for this particular birthday. Then I realized, there must be something going on. Then I turned to look at him. This guy was his knees. I was like, I knew it.
That was the proposal. The idea was that he plans for my birthday and I surprise her for my birthday, because now, if she's the one planning, she'd invite people that really matter to both of us.
Yeah.
If she invites people that really matters to both of us, those are the people that are supposed to be there for that season because it mattered to both of us. That was it. Because I wasn't in a position to invite people. Or rather, I didn't also want to do it on my own. And over the years, as we've planned for each other's birthdays, that is how we've usually done. It hasn't been a bash. We've only invited people that were close to us.
Yeah.
And mattered to us, especially for that season. Wow. So there were people that have attended our birthdays, surprise birthdays, who never attended that proposal. There are some that attended the ruracio, who have never attended any of our activities, and some attended our wedding, and they have been in all activities.
So funny thing, I go home now, I have a ring. I'm expecting my parents to ask me, hey, there's a jito on your thing. I'm like. So I enter, they are not saying anything, only coming to realize the next day that my parents had an idea of what's going to happen. So I'm calling in, telling actually texting my mom, hi mom, I'm going to be late because we are taking Jonah out for the birthday. She doesn't say anything. She actually just said, wow, enjoy. That's so weird for a mom just to say, hey, like, what time will you be home?
There were no those questions.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of red flags.
And then I'm saying, I'm with my siblings, I'm with them, so don't ask them where they are. I have taken them. Even my siblings knew. And they were just silent the entire day. To the extent I was telling Dad that morning, Dad, see you. Kanambia, hey, enjoy, have a good day. And you have something with your friends? I was like, labda my siblings mentioned it to you. Hakusewa. I was like,
Karibu wauze. No, but it was a good one, and I think one of the things that came really out well is the blessing of the parents, because they knew it matters.
Yeah.
It makes it easier than a lady getting home with a ring, then having to explain to their parents that this guy proposed. And also the Kenyan system make it hard for us to surprise our spouses. And we had that talk, like, I think for 2 years before even that season, because I was telling her, what are you being surprised for? We are planning for our wedding. We've also started seeing your parents. You know we are getting married.
Yeah.
So nikikupatia hii pete, like, what weight does it have? It's not that I'm surprising you, I will marry you. We are even budgeting for that wedding. We are planning. So where is the surprise?
I understand that part. People actually, the process is ongoing.
Yes.
Proposal, no one expect.
That's the problem. No spoifanya ni shida.
Yeah, man.
I didn't get my first ring. I need to get first and second ring. It becomes an issue. Now the secret, or rather the flip side needs to be, the surprise needs to be hiyo surprise, how you plan it and when you plan it. That is the surprise.
Okay.
Not that you are marrying me.
Exactly.
No, you are marrying me, I know.
Yes.
I think, no, for me, I have a different notion. I won't come and tell my aunt, hi, I'm getting married. There's a way you prepare someone psychologically, your friends. And when you put a picture like got engaged, it brings into their minds that, oh, a wedding is coming up soon. You get?
Yeah.
So we won't take someone, hi, we just wanted to let you know that we are planning our wedding and we're coming for my ruracio. And it's like, ata sijui kama uko engaged, I don't know if you have a guy. It's just abrupt. So my notion was, engagement is important because it helps friends know that there's something coming up.
What I want us now to briefly touch on is the PMCC bit. Is it PMCC?
Yes.
That's the
Pre-marital
counseling class.
Yes.
because like I've been sharing in the previous seasons, there are guys who say hizo classes don't help for nothing. They're not important. It's just a formality yenye church yetu inataka tupitie. So for you guys, what would you say about the PMCC classes? Were they of any help to you? And what's that one lesson that you can see you picked from the classes that you still apply to your marriage to date? Yeah.
Well, PMCC, that was the best decision we guys made. There's that thing you think you're ready for marriage, and then now there's the reality of the things you face as you're planning your wedding and what comes with marriage.
Yeah.
So I remember it was very intentional. We had agreed that before we get married, we will do a premarital class. So it was an agreement while we were dating.
Yeah.
So when we knew that our time for getting married was coming closer, we signed up with a premarital class in our church. They do it so nicely. And what happens is that you have, in our particular class session, we had couples who are planning their wedding, and we also had people who are our teachers and facilitators who are married. And not just one person, of course there's a pastor, but now there are other married people who have been married for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. So you get different experiences with them.
Yeah.
And now they just don't read a book. You just don't read a book and say, what do you learn from it? So they go deeper to tell their own stories and experiences on how we handled this particular thing. And if there's one maybe topic that I really, really appreciated was finances. Knowing that money is not my money, it's our money. And then now we are coming to be one. That for me was a big lesson coming into marriage. That it won't be like just like wewe lipa hii nitalipa hii. Like now we are one unit. And also the beauty of the premarital was the community. Now you see that people who we did the class with. Now some of them are also planning their wedding.
Yeah.
Some of them get married before you. So they tell you, oh, us when we're planning this worked. So having that community, some of those people were still close friends, still date. And I think I will always be forever grateful for the people who I did the premarital class with, because they're my friends. When I tell them that I'm struggling in this area of my marriage, they don't look at me like, hey, kwani marriage ni mbaya, because they understand from where we started. We came here with one mind. So having that people to go life with. Yeah, babe, do you have something to say about it?
PMCC is good.
What's that one lesson
Yeah.
that you will need to or that one thing that you took from the classes that you still apply?
One thing. For me, I loved the session on in-laws.
Yeah.
How do you handle in-laws? Where do you draw the line with in-laws? For me, it was so key because it's futuristic. And in-laws don't change. They will always be in-laws. So for me, that is one lesson I took. And we handle them based on what we learned, based on the experiences people shared. And we are also able to know what is expected of us, even as other people's in-laws.
Yeah.
So I totally learned a lot in that class. If I'm looking at every topic we did, and also as my wife has said, we made relationships, very nice and good relationships. And they mattered, and one of the things that made us know that the relationship mattered is because we were in a COVID season. We did COVID weddings. COVID weddings were restricted weddings in terms of numbers. So by the virtue that somebody would call you for their wedding, it mattered. And also it showed that you mattered. Because they were limited in terms of numbers. So that stood out for us.
Martha, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Even if you didn't make it. Yeah.
We are still here. You're still our friend.
Yeah, we understand.
Oh,
So that stood out for us. That stood
And
out
also
for
the
us.
fact that I think there's this lesson that marriage is authored by God.
Yeah.
So God has a transcript of a marriage, and my marriage will not be like someone else's marriage. So I won't come and say at my parents' marriage, this is how they used to do it. Now I bring that same notion to this house. And the fact that it's God's idea, it means we men look to God. I am submitting to God, he's submitting to God, and then we meet at the center. So it will not be my way and his way. It will be like, what is Christ saying about marriages? Yeah.
And it works. I'd propose any person that wants to get married, don't get in it with a perception that you know it all.
Yeah.
Listen and learn from people that are there,
Yeah.
people that have been there. And also one thing that you need people to work with you, especially when you're planning your wedding. And most of these people are also planning their weddings, and they're within in that season, because seasons changed.
Yeah.
How somebody planned their wedding 2 years ago is not how you're planning weddings right now. But if you are planning your wedding right now, Danji, and I'm also planning my wedding right now, we are able to share a lot compared to somebody that did theirs 2 years ago, because we exchange on service providers, we exchange on the experiences and the weddings you've gone to, we exchange on what you are going through as a guy, as you're holding your lady and your family, and also planning for the wedding. So that was among the things that we got from the class. And also we got vulnerability from the people that were facilitating the class. They gave us their life.
Yeah. And even the assignments.
And the assignments.
Funny thing, you get assignments, so you have to go and say, as a couple, what do you think about this topic? What do I think about this topic? Then you come and present it.
Yep.
So you don't have like us, this is us. You're coming to bring your notion. Like me, I don't think this is true. Him, he says this is true.
Then
So
you
there's
discuss.
a challenge. And so, hey, we don't agree on this thing. So you see like a danger on it.
That was good. But as we were blessed, even in the season of the PMCC, because we got a very nice best couple. Very nice. Like, that's a gift to us. Our best couple, they're a gift to us.
Yes.
For we had an opening for topics which we went through with them,
Yeah.
which was so intentional that they were like meetings we need to meet. We will discuss these 3 or 4 topics before you get married. We also get an opening from another couple, a pastor couple, that told us, I know you'll be going through that book of PMCC. Whatever you guys will not understand, feel free to approach us. We'll be able to have a sitting with you and just talk about it. This was a pastor couple from a church I used to attend. We were that close with them. And we visited them before then. There are a couple of couples we decided to visit before we got married. Just have a setup with them, get to learn on 2, 3, 4, 5 things. And they opened their houses to us before marriage.
That means when you're also planning to have a best couple, just don't look for someone for that day. Look for someone who you can grow with, be vulnerable, and just do life together.
Sure.
Wow. Wow. I think there is a lot to learn from that. I always like asking this question because everyone picks something from the whole book. You can't get the whole book. But
Yeah.
your lesson and another person's lesson, another person's lesson.
Yeah.
For the person who's watching this, akikaa chini asikize hizo lessons zote, no, they get to gain more than
Yeah.
just kukaa chini na kusoma book, because now they're getting from another person's
Yeah.
perspective. Yeah.
Sure.
So I would like us to change gears now and go to the big stuff. Like, now let's talk about the ruracio. Inaitwa nini kwa English?
Traditional wedding.
Traditional wedding.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh,
talk
wow.
about that ruracio period for you guys. Given the fact that you did yours during the COVID times.
Yes.
Let's tell us how that looks like, Jonah, from your end as a man, and also from Grace's perspective of what you expected it to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ruracio was crazy. It was crazy. One, I didn't have money. Funny enough. And I've been working for like 4 years by then, and I've been saving. Rather planned to be saving. By the time I get there, I realized I didn't have money. And for me, I didn't have money. And for me, I had made it specifically on, this is the amount I wanted to give on that day. Regardless of how much they will ask.
Yeah.
This is what I'd want to give. So I needed to have that money that I had proposed to give before then. But before, I was against ruracio. And we had that conversation with her. Because coming from an aspect of being born again, and also knowing my word, I'm against you quoting to me scripture, or if there is any, on ruracio and how we do it. I'm not against ruracio. I'm just saying, don't put it in the Bible and expect people to follow it by saying it's in the Bible.
Yeah.
Because if it's in the Bible, how it was done and how we are doing it is not the same. If it was done that way in the Bible, why aren't we doing that way?
Yeah.
Then usiseme kwa Bible. I'm not against us following it as a tradition.
Yeah.
But don't say that it is in the Bible. For me, it was a conversation for almost 3 years, and it was an issue. But the Lord helped us. God came through. I had a certain budget. I started getting money 3 weeks to the ruracio.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. The first week, one of my friends from abroad sent me money, which was a half of what I wanted to give. The following week, I won an award where I work as the best employee.
Hey.
That covered the other half
Hey.
of what I wanted to give. So in 2 weeks, I'd already gotten that. The following week, which was the third week, the money that I got was budget for food for the ruracio. So in 3 weeks, I had everything for the ruracio. For money that I've struggled for four plus years to save, it came in 3 weeks because I didn't have anything. That was on my. It was a testimony on my side per se. So for me, it was a blessing, and God was really in it. The ruracio, we decided to do something big, or rather, I decided to do something big. Okay, we did. Kulikuwa na manguo, tulishonesha nguo. We had a very big bridal team, but tulishonesha manguo. One of the things that was a blessing is that the dad decided that we were doing it in Nairobi, so we were not going to Shags. Wow. So that was a blessing.
Of course, why did go to Shags, and I've been born and raised in Nairobi.
Do that.
Our home is in Nairobi. Why would we go?
She doesn't know it was a blessing. She's looking at it as if it's kawaida. From a man's perspective, you don't want to take your people across the country.
Yeah, my God.
Because it won't affect her as much. Watachukua tu watano waende. And they are going to a land they have never gone. Then in my family, I'm the last born in my family. Yeah. No one has ever done a ruracio.
Wow.
This is a Luo guy going to a Kyuk family.
Wow.
And there is this perception about Kyuk and how they do people in those things. So it was work. So it needed a lot of prayers. But the dad was so very, very supportive. Yeah. We met with the dad before, and
actually it was both mom and daddy.
Both mom and dad, by the way, they're very supportive on it. And we met before. And we agreed, as we are doing our things. And we are born again. And we will do it as if, like for people who are born again. That in its own way was also a very, very big blessing, because I didn't have a specific amount that I was to bring. But one of the things which also I did in a separate way is which I had proposed for guys, if you are able, and if the other family is not too tight, speak to the mom-in-law and the dad-in-law. If you're able to write a check. Yes, to them for the day. Because once you bring the money, there are these uncles and aunties who have seen money, and they've come all the way from there. So that money will be sliced at that table that day.
But they were talking, they can check the still want a car.
The advantage with a check is that it takes time to mature. It's not an automatic, and you gave it on that day. They cannot wait for it to mature before they travel. They cannot wait for it to mature before they travel. But you see, that is good. Then you have the liberty to send what you want.
Yeah.
But if the money is there, and you see, the parent is not given the money, it's the uncles who are given the money. So they have the money, and they decide how much they will keep. But if they have the check, they cannot do anything with the check.
Yeah.
The parents can bank it. Then after 2-3 days, the parents can decide, huyu wacha nimtumie 200, this one I can give them 1K. Because now you bring a lot of money, or you bring even money, but the parents get like a quarter of it.
Yeah.
Because this uncle saw money, then started their issues on that money. That you see, I have this daughter and I have this son, unajua huyu na huyu. So to avoid all that, ulabalu. If they are able to agree, do a check. So as we did a check.
That good idea.
It works.
But you asked my parents.
I asked before because I needed to know the bank details.
You brought a check.
Yes, we did a check.
Oh, wow.
And
What
it
do
helps.
you say?
No,
You're
it
revolutionizing this thing.
no, they wanted us to go not to do traditional per se. So we went that direction and it helped, and those are the things that
You
you learn.
know, the problem with the check is in affect the negotiation, because negotiation ni sisi tuko na 10,000 alafu naambia hapana hii itoshe ongezea kidogo na toa ingine. Now with the check it's fixed.
You see, also based on that is one of the things that is based on that, which people don't put it out there, is that Danji, if you are asked for 1 million and you went with 20,000, you'll only give 20,000.
Yeah.
That is the same as a check.
In the Kikuyu tradition, itakuwa kama ile hukulipa ni deni.
Exactly. And where the check comes in is
So you have
that,
to negotiate it down.
and where the checks comes in is that it's a month, unless I am wrong,
Yeah.
you always know how much you can stretch, even on that day. Put that stretch in a check. Because you always know. There is no way utaingizwa box utoe, and if utaingizwa box utoe mingi, you have, maybe you say you wanted to give 200 Gs. You've wrote a check for 200 Gs and you carried the extra one. You can always give cash and a check. It's not limited.
To give you 100 Gs, no mandika 200 Gs.
Based on that, let me now go back and say why I had a specific amount of money. Her parents cannot decide for me how much I value her. So I am giving based on how I value her. So if they say 200 or they say 300, there is a place I have put my value on her.
Yeah.
And you are also able to negotiate it from that perspective, especially if you get people that understand and tell them, this is where I am coming from. I do not know of a parent that has ever refused of being given a lot for ruracio. Akasema nyinyi endeni. If imetoa mingi. If there is, I might be wrong. But now that is what I wanted. And I wanted it 4 years prior to, and I worked for that specific amount that I wanted to give. If there was anything else, we would give it after. But that is what I had at that moment. So there was no other way about it.
But the beauty of it was, you know, as a lady, you would always want to know when ruracio comes, how will my family respond. So I remember I would at time ask daddy and joke with my mom, hey mom, mnaona ni kama kutoa Saida Jonah kuja mtawaitisha kama mamilioni ama nini, how you going to do it, so that in a way I kind of prepare him. And I remember my parents used to just say, just don't think about it. It's not a barter trade, it's not business, it's just more of relationship, just coming to know who is Jonathan marrying and knowing his family. It's just more of a family kind of bonding. It's not a tradition.
It was
kind
made
of a
so
thing.
clear from the word go that you guys are not coming to buy anyone here. It's not a barter trade. You're not giving us something so that you give you our daughter. No, it's just we need to have this, and people need to know each other, and it is a platform for people to know each other.
So
that
the
was
lesson
made.
Is my parents just took it as this is the Christian way. As long as he's born again, he's coming to be my son. He's coming to be a son in this house. So how are you going to say I'm selling my daughter to him? No. So it was mainly it's just our cementing time and just bringing two families together. So I remember even during the ruracio, we didn't have this many processes. Pombe, the traditions.
It was so Christian.
It was nothing.
It was so Christian. And one of the things that we decided
even
with
had
the dad.
a service.
Yes, we had even somebody come and preach. We had a meeting with the dad before the day, and one of the things we agreed is that we've both been in Christian circles, and there is a way that people look at people who are in Christian circles, especially people that are not saved. We have people in the families that are not saved. Why don't we show our God even through this tradition? So we decided to go big, and we went big, so that they are also able to know that people who are in the church, they are not foolish, or rather they do not do things the right way, because in it there might come testimonies from it. Do you see how people who are born again do their things? So that is one of the things that we intentionally decided to do.
But I enjoyed.
It was
the
fun.
Women sang. Kwanza hiyo unasikia kwa gate watu wanapuliza honi like.
It was fun.
And then the women singing. Me, I'm just in the room waiting to hear the people coming in.
Let me ask your process here, kufungwa na leso. How was it like? Did you give him leakage, ama alijua, ama alifail? Tell us about that.
Well, he didn't have a leakage, but I remember telling him.
Leakage?
No.
Oh my God.
I remember telling him there was. I think I gave him such a small. Yeah, I did. I really did.
Which didn't work.
I told him I'll have yellow shoes.
The shoes were covered. Shoes never work. This is just an advice. If you are planning to use the shoe game, doesn't, because also you don't have control when you are inside.
Yeah.
So that ant, see that ant, might decide to change shoes. Wakuvalishe open. But we got it. Height matters.
No, all of them are more like one size.
Height matters, and also body shape, and also walking.
Yeah.
The way she was walking, you'd know how the person getting married amejikunja. Wengine unajua anakuaga tu sawa.
Yeah.
Ule mwenye anaolewa kuna venye anakuaga metilt. You'd know ndio huyu wangu.
For hours my wife alijimwagilia cologne chupa mzima
mzee.
Cologne. So akiwa huko mlango na mimi niko huko.
Unasikia tu unasema ndio.
Ako kwa hilo.
Ndio huyu hapa.
Ako mali kwa hilo. So niko tunakaribia iko strong ni huyu.
No, for us also one of the things that was a bit different.
Yeah.
It was not supposed to be part of the program. It did come from a traditional perspective.
Yeah.
We said we wanted. So the parents had not even planned for it to happen. So sisi ndo tulisema na tufanye hii. For fun. Okay. We wanted that part also to be done, and it went well. Yeah. We didn't give akukuwa na fines, and
okay, are we going to see photos of that?
There are photos.
Oh, yes.
Those are very nice photos with smiling on her being discovered.
Awesome.
Yes.
Now I want us to go now and talk about the pre-wedding period. The pre-wedding period is basically where you plan the wedding. I want to know about your relationships with the vendors that you had. Like, was it smooth? Were there vendors who walikuwa tu kichwa ngumu? Family and friends support during that planning period, and any disagreement you guys might have had during the planning. Also, this is the place where we want to talk about because most people this is the time when they look for houses, they start discussing furniture, start discussing important life stuff when it happen after the wedding. So kindly take us through this period, and also don't forget to mention any expectations that you mulikuwa nazo and the disappointment you got. Yeah.
Nice. Come again.
Okay. Well, like we said, we started planning our wedding way early. We started looking for service providers.
Yeah.
I think immediately after I finished campus, we started looking for service providers, getting quotations. Friends who had done their weddings would attend wedding committees, would see the ranges in the market. So for us, we weren't green. We knew what we wanted. We knew the type of seats we wanted, the type of tent we wanted. We knew the design of cake, because of course, as we did, kwani mnaongeanga nini? For us, we'd really talk about, remember everything and anything, and wedding was, at times we just say, let's talk about our wedding day, and we'd discuss the nitty-gritties.
Those meeting at
Lazarus and at times another restaurant.
not Lazarus, the ones at Memorial Park
Memorial
were
Park.
for
Yeah,
wedding
the
and
yellow
budget
book.
planning.
Yes. So we had them down. so we would meet different service providers. They would ask us the date. We'd tell them 2019.
Be announced.
Yeah, but let's just know. We'd send out emails. Of course, you can easily ask for someone's quotation, and they would send it to you. So it's not hard.
Yeah.
So that really helped. We got to know what was in the market, and then now we scale down to who do we think would work best with. And the beauty of it is that some of our friends was service providers of some of the things that we needed, and people who go back in the industry. So one aspect about our lives is that we love to plan events. We have done event planning, especially in the fellowship. We would do planning. So we knew people who are into these things. So we had asked some of them, especially food and everything. So we kind of knew what goes around. It was just coming to say, this is the person we are going to work with. Of course, you agree on one person, then you'll be like, katikati you change. But that was very, very easy.
There were options.
Yeah, there were many options. And
some of them we'd seen their jobs, and
Yeah.
it was also a blessing over the things that we've done through the years from friends.
yeah,
There are people that did pro bono. We had a friend of ours that gave us sound for free, who promised 2 years before the wedding, told me that your wedding, me, I'll give you sound. A year before, he imported a new sound, and he had very nice mic, so we were the first ones to use that mic. And he gave himself out, and he's very professional at what he did. Very nice sound. And also the turntable. We had our DJ, the one that did DJing for us, also volunteered. The rather did pro bono. And
Why are you not bigging up these guys?
we want to we will the one that did sound is Manoki. It's called Manoki Sounds. Manoki, big up. Thank you, bro. That was a good one. The one that did the DJ that mixed for us, it was DJ Ken the DJ.
DJ.
Rauka.
Such a nice person.
It's
he's really,
Ken
really
did a
nice.
great job, and he enjoyed the wedding.
Yeah.
A very clean heart.
Yeah.
Ken is a good one.
He also did our wedding.
He also
Oh,
did your
wow.
wedding.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
Na ilikuwa hiyo pro bono by
Oh,
the way.
wow.
So guys, Ken for weddings.
I
Ken
pray,
for
I pray
weddings.
that his time,
Yeah.
that the seed that he has really sown.
May he not even spend a shilling.
Amen.
Yes, Ken will come for your wedding. Invite us. And we can also come already full so that you don't have to cater for our meals. That was, what else did you get for pro bono?
Like cake, my friend from campus did it.
At a very nice price.
She was.
And it was
called
very
Ivy.
Ivy, and it was very nice cake.
Yeah.
We totally enjoyed it. We
Yvonne
had
Ivy, she's
Yvonne
on
Ivy.
Facebook. Yvonne Ivy come out.
We also had our MC.
Oh yeah.
We did Moaura.
Alex
Moaura, who was here before us. Season 1. Alex was a good one. Sorry for all the dancing and the sweating, but we did it. That's what friends are for. And it gave us a very nice rate.
Yeah.
And it was way helpful.
We
We
danced.
really
really
danced.
love.
I think if there is something we did well in our wedding was
Was
dancing.
dancing.
A lot. It took a lot of time, but
enjoyed
it was good.
Because you know now the struggles you've gone
Zimeisha, we are releasing the struggles. The other person we can remember is Ndukulin, Nduku Makeup.
Yeah.
She did makeup for my wife. She did it even for
Our engagement.
our engagement. She did a very nice job.
Yeah.
She's the one that does makeup for Selena. So she's a friend of ours way back. So big up to her also. And what else? We had the guy that prepared our food.
Yeah, Victor.
It's
Victor
called
and the family.
it's called Victor. Victor did a very nice job. Victor gave us a very nice pricing. He also did for ruracio. Gave us a very nice pricing, and also gave us money like for the price that he quoted to us. He also now did give his own contribution by subtracting it from the total price.
Yeah.
So that was, and he still does all our family events until today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Victor is a blessing. Then we had photography. We had Fanuel photography. Fanuel did a very good job. Stretched, went out of his way.
Yeah.
We messed him up in 2-3 things,
Timing.
especially on our timing because we danced a lot. But he did a very nice job based on what he had.
Yeah.
Of course, you'll see some of the photos.
Yeah.
And what else did we have? The Pasi was wow.
Yeah.
Pastor George
church
Masharia
is
did a very nice job. We enjoyed our wedding. We can definitely say we laughed a lot at our wedding. It was an easy place. It was an easy, good wedding. And also we had Pastor Uche. Pastor Uche is the pastor that preached at our wedding. And the backstory of it is that when Grace was graduating, Pastor Uche is the one that preached at her graduation. And when he preached, he spoke, or rather he prophesied, and he said the next activity that will be in that compound will not be a graduation for masters. It shall be one for wedding. So when we were doing our ruracio, we invited him to see what he spoke come to life. So he's the one that also spoke at the ruracio. Then you gave him the honors at the wedding also. There is nothing as good as seeing what you spoke coming to life and being part of it. So he's such a wonderful friend. He's been a blessing to us. And I think City Lighters, Icons Band, Praise and Worship. We had Pastor Manoa doing Praise and Worship. Big up Manoa. That was a blessing. It was wow. It was heavenly. And that I think was our team. Our admin, Nyawera, did a very nice job with controlling and containing the crowd. It was a very nice one. We had a lot of ministers for the wedding. A lot of bishops and pastors who attended. It could have been a pastor's conference, but it was a nice one. So I think that was our wedding in a nutshell.
Also, I would really thank God for friends and family. Family is
Came through.
one great blessing I will always cherish. How they give towards your children. The fact that, it's our child who's really getting married, and also my family church, because now my parents are pastoral. And the church, they own the wedding as if it's their daughter who was getting married. You find that even pastors want to know, have you gotten a service provider for this? How is the nitty-gritties? You find aunties who ask you difficult questions. Have you signed contracts? So just having people who check to know, have you done the process?